Okay guys, the human eye. My name is Mr. Mpepu. Today's date 23 April 2024, Tuesday, and the time there 11 minutes past 11. 12 minutes past 11. With that being said, guys, Sanbonani, Dumelani, Avsheni, hello. Guys, I personally welcome you to my session, or I personally welcome you to my class. Today we'll be dealing with, or we'll be continuing with our series, The Human Eye, and then we'll be dealing with accommodation and pupillary mechanism. Yesterday we learned the structure of the human eye and its functions. So with that being said, guys, welcome all those who are returning students. Guys, I really like to appreciate you, and I really like to welcome you. So guys, you'll agree with me, today we did an introduction to a structure of a human eye yesterday, if you'll agree with me. And then another thing, guys, those who are new here, don't forget to set your screen on a full screen mode, and also set these videos to high quality HD, right? So that we'll learn this and you'll be able to read whatever it's written here. Like for my example, this human eye, you should be able to read it when these videos are at HD. So let's move on, guys. Today we are at week 6. If you are following us, guys, keep on following us, and then let's move on. We are still dealing with the responding to the environment by humans. You'll agree with me. Monday or last week we did all this part, right? Each and every day, sharing that hour. Yes, it might look like more time to be spent here, but I'll promise you that after dealing with every questions here, we'll come and do these topics about 10 minutes. You'll agree that this human eye, you can finish everything here in less than 30 minutes, right? Talking about the accommodation, the what, but they are saying that you have to learn this in a weekly manner, so you will have to expand our explanation, also reducing the information that you are going to get. So with that, guys, I welcome you guys. Those who are new here, feel free to subscribe, feel free to like, and feel free to comment. Also, don't forget to share with other students. Guys, let it be that student decision to say, I Mr. Mpepu, I cannot listen to him, his English yambora. You understand? And then turn down your offer. But if you are saying that you can offer this to someone in Jayami, mang, here's Mr. Mpepu is teaching a life science, maybe you can learn 1, 2, 3, and then that person, let it be that person to say, let me join you, or let me not join you. I hope you understand that, right? So guys, yesterday we deal with the human structure, 1 hour 30 minutes dealing with the human structure, right? Talking about whatever bits and pieces. We are also going to do the revision about that, and then from there we are learning that this one is a receptor organs, and then it is full of, or it is concentrated by our receptor cells, right? You'll agree with me from there. And then this will be our ATP week 6, Tuesday. We done introduction Monday. If you missed our introduction, go back and see introduction and how we planned this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? With our plan, Monday we're going to do the structure and function. After learning the structure and function, we are going to learn the accommodation, right? How this our eye of us respond to the light. This is the responding to the light. This accommodation and pupillary mechanism, this is how our eye respond to the light, right? And then Wednesday we are going to do question and answer from our previous examination, doing this part here, right? And then from there, Thursday we are going to do our but we call them the defects, right? When your eyes, maybe for example short-sightedness, long-sightedness, when you are after learning this year, should be able for you to understand what is happening to our defect there. Thursday and Friday another question papers, right? So with that being said, guys, let's move on. We passed by our caps. We did this yesterday. We agreed on everything here, and as you can see here, they also want us to dissect an eye of a sheep or a pig, right? To see those layers that we learned about yesterday, right? The sclera, the what, or we can just go to the Google. Give me 2 minutes. You can just go to the Google and Google animal eyes, right? Animal eyes, right? So these are the eyes. So yesterday we learned about these eyes. We learned that we have the retina. If you still remember, we learned that this is an old eye, and then in an old eye we know that that black thing there, that black round color there, it is an opening called a pupil, right? We learned about this yesterday. And then the yellow part there will be our iris, and then from the iris we are going to have another layer called sclera, right? And then the glass part there that we see, that glassy thing there, it is called the cornea. We learn about this, right? It is adapted so that light will pass on, and then it also filled with aqueous humor for refracting or to refract light to the focal nerve, right? What do we call this? Fovea, or our yellow spot, right? In this book we are using our yellow spot. So you can see that animals have same eyes, right? Animals have the same eyes, same thing. It's just that we differ by our eye, our pupil there, the way our iris make up that opening, right? It also may be with our yellow spot, which will be our focal zone, where the image become clear. Maybe we find that they have different cones, they have different rods, maybe they see in color. Do you understand? As you can see, the bird there has to have ability. You know that our eyes, they have to adapt to our environment, right? It means that the birds up there, they will have an ability to zoom things, right? You'll agree with me. You can see the cheetah there, you can see the cat there. You can see if those who have their cat eyes, the pupil there can become big, right? We are talking about the pupil, and it can also become small. So these are the human eye, right? So the question of our eyes, this you can see here, chameleon eye. Are eyes the same? Eyes are the same, guys. Maybe we can different with our retina there, the place of rods and cone. You see now the beauty of our previous lesson. Now we can talk about the core. Now we can talk about the cones. Now we can talk about the rods freely. Now we can talk about language and life science. Now we can bring life science language to explain this further, right? So we are dealing with our human eye, which is the part of the receptors, right? Recepting light. And then we did the structure and function yesterday. We did the binocular vision, telling you that this one is the bio means two. We are using our two eyes to form one image, right? We also talked about stereoscopic vision, right? Using those image or the ability to form a 3D image, right? So today they want us to also concentrate on accommodation and pupil reflex, right? This one, the pupil reflex, they can call it pupil reflex, they can call it pupil mechanism, they can call it pupil constriction. So today, at the end of this day, you should be able to differentiate what is happening to accommodation and why is it causing accommodation, and why, you understand, why are we accommodating our eye, right? So another thing, we are also going to learn about the movement of pupil becoming small and becoming big. How is this happening, and what causes this? What causes our eye to be big there? You know that round thing, right? I showed you, we were from here. So this round thing here, this pupil here, you can see any picture here, you can choose any picture. So we are going to see how this pupil opens and close, right? You understand, you know that this pupil of ours can open and close, and they are surrounded by muscles. So those muscles are the one that are bringing about that change, right? The opening or the widening of our pupil, and the shortening or the narrowing, right? Now another thing today you are going to learn about, or I also thought of telling you the difference between these two words: contracting, when we're saying something is contracting, and when we're saying something it is constricting. These are the words that we learn here in life science. So these are the words that are mostly used here in life sciences, right? You'll say the accommodation, something is contracting, and then in pupil reflexes, something is constricting, right? So today, at the end of the day, you should be able to learn this. You should be able to differentiate between accommodation and pupil reflex, and you should be able to lay down or to briefly explain this process in a briefly manner, right? What is accommodation? You should be able to explain what is accommodation, and you should be able to briefly give an outline. Or okay, for us to accommodate our eye so that this and this and this can happen, this and this and this and this has to happen, right? So when you know those things, now we can move on. I don't want you to cram this. I want you to learn. Hence, we are pushing a full class foundation, right? This will be our just full class what, right? So for those who want to learn further this and using basic education, right? So you will understand this is basic. If you want to learn further, you can go and learn further, right? Our examination guideline, we have done the structure and function there using the diagram. By this time you know, or you are able to plot this diagram, right? To what we call to label the diagram and give the function of those labels, right? We talked about the binocular vision and its importance. We said this one is important so that we can measure the distance, so that we can see the depth of view, right? When we are looking at two things like this, you should be able to look here, and you should be able to, this one binocular, give the precise or the exact or the accurate measure of the distance between this point and this point, right? And also the size of an object. If you are seeing this circle here, and if you are seeing something that is four corner on your side, wherever you are seeing it, you can judge how big that thing is. While you are using binocular, that measurement will be precise, right? Will be accurate. We talked about this yesterday. You'll agree with me. Then from there, today we are going to talk about these changes. These are the changes that are occurring on the human eye, so that our human eye can be able to focus, right? You see that when you look at something that is close, there's a focus here, and then something at the back, you have to change the focus, right? You can do this. This is your eye, or this is what your eye has to be doing, right? You should be able to focus on something, and then with pupillary mechanism is the opening and closing of that pupil of ours. So you know that when we close the pupil, it's because the light outside is more, right? So we want to decrease the light that is coming in inside our eyes, and then when we increase our pupil here, we are maybe like in a situation of a darkness, right? In a darkness place, we will have to increase the pupil so that more light will come in, right? So here we are going to talk about the pupil, and then accommodation. What is happening with accommodation, Mr. Paper? Accommodation, now we are changing, or now we are manipulating a structure that yesterday I told you. This is a structure called a lens, right? We said we have this in our body, we have the lens, right? Then this one will be 2D dimension, 3D dimension. Let me try to draw something. It will be like this. We are going to cut it, right? And then this will be our cut. Then this will be like this, yes, and then this will be the outside. This will be this one is clear, right? It's clear. It's like a glass. I'm just giving you a 3D dimension. This will be our outside, and this one will be our inside, right? This will be our lens like this. This lens is like this. We have our outer part, and we also have another outer part like this. We said yesterday this part is a convex, right? It has this layer, and it also have this layer held in place by a suspensory ligament. We talked about this yesterday, and then this is the beauty of today's lesson, because today we can now use those words freely with you knowing them. When I say suspensory ligament, I'm talking about something like this, right? This suspensory ligament attached to something called a ciliary body. This ciliary body having our ciliary muscles. So let's go back. Let's go nyana 2 minutes, 5 minutes, do a previous what we call our prior knowledge, the structure of what we learn Monday. Then from what we learn Monday, we can now come and do accommodation and pupillary mechanism. I hope you understand, or I hope you are understanding what is happening now. We can talk about the rods and the cones. These are the receptor cells, right? Where in the retina, now we know there's a place called retina, and this one, they help us to distinguish between the black and white, and this one, they help us to distinguish different colors using 3 colors as the rods. We have red, we have green, and we have blue, right? This, I'm not sure they're going to ask you, but using this information, we learned about this yesterday, right? And we also have the pupil. The pupil is that opening there, or is that opening there. We are going to talk about today the mechanism that brings about this shortening of this pupil and this widening of this pupil, right? Then from there, today we are going to talk about that process. Is called pupillary mechanism, but the regulation of the pupil size to control the amount of light entering the eye. When they say the regulation, it's like you moving or like the ability to move your the ability to decrease and increase your pupil, right? And this motion here, or these things that is happening here, it is brought upon those ciliary muscles that we see joining our eye like that, right? So today we are going to learn about what is happening between these two processes, and then we are going to learn about the accommodation. This is an ability now for the lens to alter. We are changing the position of the lens. Yes, we have the lens, and then that lens, we are stretching it then it's going to be stretched like this, or we are letting it to be free or to be loose, and then that shape is going to be like that. So we are changing the shape of the lens so that the image that we are seeing, it can be focused at our yellow spot there at the back of our retina. But the ability of the lens of the eye to alter its shape for clear vision when viewing both near and a distant object, right? Accommodation, we're talking about when we are looking at something that is far away and something that is nearby. We're going to talk about this, right? So yesterday you'll allow me to do the fast revision, and then yesterday we talk about the field of vision. This is the area that our human eye is viewing, and then we talked about the convex and we talked about the concave. We said the convex outside, the convex like a cave this side. This one's a double convex here, double concave. One, it will be like this, and then here it will be like this, right? And then we said the outer layer, it is thicker, a shape which curves outside, and then the thicker in the middle. Yes, the middle part is the thicker, and then the edge is the small. Yes, you can see here, if we have something like this, you can agree with me, this part here is thicker and this part here is thin. And then when we have a concave like this part here is thin and this part here is thick, right? We learned about this yesterday. We also learned about using our two eyes to have a binocular vision. With binocular vision, I told you that one, this year we are using our two eyes, and then with overlapping field of view like this. We talked about this yesterday, so that the separate images can combine, while we are for that to combine that image to make one image by the brain, right? Your brain using that. When not to see something, it is happening in your brain. For you to interpret whatever you are seeing here, it is happening inside your brain, right? It's just that your eyes can move, or your eyes can react into a certain way, so that the image that you are seeing can be precise or can be accurate, right? Or can be focused, right? So from there we talked about the stereoscopic vision. If you still remember what is a stereoscopic vision, we said this one is the ability to form a 3D image, right? Using this binocular and binocular. This, you can say this one is the part of, I spent much of time yesterday explaining about this. And then here we come to the structure of a human eye. And then this is what we see when we look at someone, when we look to our friends, we see an eyelid, or when we look to ourselves inside the mirror. You are going to see your eyelid, which is the closing, the part that closes our human eye. And then we also have the eyelashes, the part that is going to repel the foreign substances like the dust and the stones and whatever, right? And then from there we are going to see that color thing, the brown. This one, it has a pigment or melanin, hence we find them being brown, being pink, being what, they have the pigments, right? So this is the iris. You can see that our iris are made out of these muscles that are going like this, Today we are going to talk about these muscles here, and it is also made by these muscles here that are surrounding our what we call our pupil, right? Then from there we are going to have another one, and then another one. These are the circular, we talked about them. These are the circular muscles, and the one that are from the radius, from the circumference to the center, from the word radial, these are going to be the radial muscles, right? From the word radius, right, from the circumference to the center of the circle. From there we are going to talk about the opening there. We said the opening there, we call it a pupil, and then we also have the layer, the outside layer, the white outside layer that we can also see, that will be the sclera. So these are the part that we see in our front of our human eye. So we went there and chopped the eye now, and then I even told you that to understand this, let's start with the layers. We have to have 3 layers. The first layer is the sclera, the second one choroid, the third one retina. Sclera here protecting everything that is inside. They will say give the letter and the name of the layer that protects the eye, right? We're going to say the sclera. Also we talked about another word here, conjunctiva. The conjunctiva is not here. You don't say conjunctiva here, so we don't expect you to be answering those questions that when they say give a layer that protect the human eye, the inner layers of the human eye, when you say the conjunctiva. We will ask you, where did you get that conjunctive? The sclera there, and then the choroid there, which will be the middle layer holding or housing the blood vessels, and also having the dark pigment to prevent the reflecting of eye, right? So that this choroid here, we can say that it also continues to form something at the back. We start with the layers: sclera, choroid, retina. Retina having the rods, those rods and the cones, right? We say these are the photoreceptors, or having those light receptors, right? Which will be the rods and the cones, right? From there we said we have the point there at the back of our eye called the yellow spot. This is the where we have more number of cones, right? You still remember with me, or you're still with me? These are the place where we have more cones, right? So if the image is going to be concentrated onto that part there, we are going to have the clearest image, right? So there's the what is happening, and then we also have the blind spot there. The blind spot here, this is the spot where if the light is also hitting that point there, we are going to have, because here we don't have cones, we don't have rods, we are not going to have a picture formed there, we are not going to have an image interpreted there, right? This is our blind spot. We also said this is the part that our optic nerve enters or leaves our human eye, right? And also our blood vessels leaves our human eye, or enters our human eye to provide the nutrients and oxygen, where here in choroid, right? Also another function of the choroid there, right? And then we say the optic nerve taking the sensory neuron or taking the impulse to the cerebrum. And we also talked about our ventral humor. The ventral humor, as if you still remember, this is the jelly-like substance that fills up all this part here, right? This part here is filled by a ventral humor, a jelly-like substances, right? Then from there we move to the front of the part. We said when we are going outside of the funnel, now we are moving outside of the ear, outside of the eye, right? Then from outside of the eye, we are going to see a lens there, and this lens there, it's held, we are going to see the lens there, and then this lens here is held in place by suspensory ligament. This suspensory ligament joining to our ciliary body. The ciliary body is the continuation of a choroid layer. This choroid layer is going to be going to have a muscles there, and then this here we call them a ciliary muscles, and then these ciliary muscles, they are going to form a ciliary body, right? Then this body is going to be attached to our suspensory ligament. This suspensory ligament, they are going to hold, or they are going to suspend our length into an air. So it's going to be like this, so that this length of ours is suspended, or it's in place. We use this suspensory ligament, right? From there we move on. We see that this choroid here also continues to form two pieces called an iris. This is a whole iris like this, colored, and leaving a and pupil inside there. And then we'll talk about this is the pupil. This is just an opening, right? This is just an opening that is regulated by our iris, right? The iris makes sure that our pupil increases or decreases, right? It is our iris that are increasing or decreasing our pupil, right? And then this pupil here, it's going to detect, or it's going to tell, or it's going to dictate how much light are going to pass here, how many or how much. You say how much. So from there, let's move on. We see that this part here, we have the sclera, and then sclera is continuing. When it reaches the front of the part where we have the length and what it changes and become transparent, and then that layer there, we call it a cornea. And then this cornea here, it also have a dome shape, right? This dome shape here maintained by this liquid inside, and this liquid here, we said it's an aqueous humor. So we have our aqueous humor, which is liquid like, containing or maintaining our cornea dome shape, right? So that it will always be convex. And we also learned that this convex shape, it also works a function to refract light, right? To bend light, so that the light will be focused here to the length here, and then after to the length that now is going to send it to the yellow spot. So that we are done with our human eye, right? This is a longitudinal eye. So you'll agree with me, right? These are the functions. We did them yesterday. These are the only parts that you will need to know, right? These are the only parts that you will need to know, right? So let's move on, right? So we can come also with our green book there. I was checking our green book. It also have the thing. We start with our layers. Where do we find our layers? We find the sclera, and the sclera, we want the choroid. From the choroid, we want the retina, right? Same thing. And then from there, we want our yellow spot. From our yellow spot, we want the optic nerve, and we also want our dark spot there. Blind spot, sorry to say, our blind spot, our yellow spot there. And then this one, I told you that in some book they can say macula, in some book they can say fovea, right? Whatever, but yellow spot, that is what we are using in this chapter. And then from there, we also finding the jelly-like substance filling up our peripheral, or this part of the eye, right? Maintaining the shape of an eye. Then from there, we have the lens there, where today we are going to learn about this part. Today we'll be focusing on this part here, that include the lens, the suspensory ligament, and the what we call the ciliary body. You see, they don't have this one will be ciliary muscles, and then this one here, it will be ciliary body. We have the body, having the muscles inside, right? So from there we'll have we want to see the iris. As you can see, there's the iris. We also have to see the aqueous humor, the water that is filling up here. We also have the pupil, which is the opening, that is the opening there, and we also have the suspensory ligament that are holding our lens into position, and we also have the cornea, that is the part there. As you can see, we also have another layer here protruding. That one will be our conjunctiva, but they're not going to ask you about that. Even if they place something like this, they place a layer here and then they place a layer here, when you should be able to differentiate. The layer that is pointing here is pointing at the cornea, and the arrow that is pointing there is pointing on our retina, on our sclera, right? So you'll agree this is what is happening, right? In less than 30 minutes we are done. And then this is what is happening. From here, I also gave you an activity. You'll agree with me that I also gave you an activity, said my guy or my people, go and do this activity. Those who did it, they did it. Yes, the thing is still there. Here's the thing. And then, but the diagram below represent the section through a human eye, right? You know the human eye, or this is what is a human eye. You can come now. Start with those three layers. We want the top one, number A. This one will be the sclera. And then we want the second one. This will be number G, and the number G is going to be choroid, right? And then number E there, number E is going to be retina. And then I told you to draw this. If you draw this, you are fine. If you didn't draw this, but writing them down, it's going to make you to understand those settings, right? To understand those spelling, retina, choroid, right? Choroid here. And then we have number F. This will be our length, right? And then number H, this one will be our suspensory ligament. Suspensory ligament, right? Ligaments, right? There are many there. And then from there, they don't have our ciliary muscles with our ciliary body there. That one is also important. And then from number B there, you have our cornea. So you know that. So here you can agree with me that maybe they are not going to ask you the question related to this part here, or if they are going to ask about it, we are ready because we know that something is happening, something is missing. And we also have number C. Number C here is going to be our pupil, right? Allowing or dictating how much light can pass to the lens, right here. And then number D, that was going to be iris, right? The one that has the color. So we go to our question. This will be our correction here, right? This is a full class. Full class correction. And then today's date 23/04/2023, right? Those who are moderating, they will moderate, are moving. But identify parts label C, D, E. You have already identified them. You go to your place and then you write numbers. You go to number 1 and then you go write C, D, H, right? This is what they will want to see. You identify these parts. You'll write them number C. Where is number C? This one will be your pupil. And then number D. Where is number D? This one will be your iris. And then number H, where is number H? This one will be suspensory ligament. We've already write them, right? Then you go to number 2, and then this is number 2, but explain how part B is adapted to perform its function. What is number B? Number B, there it's a cornea. And then what's the function of the cornea? Is to allow light to pass through to the lens there, right? So the function of this, the 1-2 mass, so it means that maybe the 1-2. How is this adapted? It is adapted because it is transparent, right? Transparent means that it allows light to pass, right? So another one, it is also concave, right? It is convex, convex, or it is curved outside. If you forget the name yet, you can just say it is curved outside, right? It is curved outside to allow the light refraction, right? Light refraction. I talked about, you make sure that you don't mix these two, reflection and refraction. Refracting the bending, or this what we call this shape here being concave, like this, being convex. So being convex like this, it also allowed this to bend light to the length there. And then that length there is also double concave. It means that convex, it means that it's also going to bend light further. right? So you agree with this, you agree with me. That is how it is adapted, right? How it is adapted. It was white. You can agree with me that it started as white, as a sclera, and then when it reached this part, because it wanted the light to pass there, it became transparent. That is how we adapted, right? When we say something is adapted, it's becoming better and better in its function, right? So the more transparent it be, the more its function is going to be easy, and the more the convex there it is coming, and then the more the light bending will be completed, right? Then number 3, but provide the functions of E and G, right, respectively. Yeah, they want respectively, so they want you to come and answer the function of number E and function number G separately. When they say respectively, separately, we start with the one that they gave us, number E, and then we move with the one that they give us, number G. So we go there and find number E. Where is number E? It's our retina, and then number G, it is our choroid. So these are the walls, or these two, we can say, if they didn't say respectively, they just gave the function of number E and number G. This one, they are the layers that forms a wall of a human eye, right? But they want the function respectively, individually. So retina, what is the retina? Retina contains, we are going to say retina here, you're going to say number E, this is retina, and the retina here contains photoreceptors or light receptor, which are rods and cones, right? So these two now recept the stimuli and transmit it or convert it into an impulse, right? Another thing is that in our retina we also have the sensory neurons. These are going to take the impulse from the receptors to the optic nerve, from via optic nerve to the cerebrum, right? So you want to choose any questions there. We have two, what is happening in our retina. We have the rods and we have the cones that are acting as a photoreceptor or our light receptors. They are converting, now the function of the receptor, it means that they are converting light to the what? To the impulse, right? And then that impulse is going to move or to go out via the sensory neuron there, right? So from there, number G, this one will be our choroid. The function of choroid there, we can say this choroid here, it houses or it contains blood vessels, right? So these blood vessels, they are providing or they are transporting nutrients and oxygen to the retina or to the photoreceptors so that they can function better. Again, each and every cell in our human body, it needs oxygen, and it also needs those nutrients to function better. So this choroid is functioning that way. And we can also say, since we know that this choroid is dark layer, right? So it means that it contains pigment. You can come and say it contains pigment that absorb. We talked about this yesterday. Those pigments here, they are going to absorb the light and prevent the reflection of light, right? So reflecting, the reflecting is bouncing of our light, right? So this light here, while the light is bouncing, it's going to be prevented by this choroid. This choroid here, they have the dark pigment that they are going to absorb our light. So it means the moment the light passes our retina, yes, you can see we have the retina and then we have the choroid. The moment that our light passes the retina here, being exciting or being causing the rods and our rods and our cones to detect this stimuli. After passing the retina, they are going to hit the choroid and they are going to be absorbed by those pigments. So we won't see another color now bouncing back, this color here bouncing back and going to be what we call going to be accepted or recepted by other rods and what in the other part of our retina. I hope you understand that, right? The pigments in our choroid, that is the function of those pigments. They are absorbing that light to prevent the reflection. Right, we have difference between reflection and refraction. We also have the difference between construction and constriction. We are going to talk about this today, right? And then from there, they said write down the letters only. Here they want write down the letter only. Each and every day, whatever we are going to answer our question, I'm going to make sure that you don't forget or you don't miss this instruction, the mini instruction that they write here. Because if when you come and give a name here, for an example, but write down the letter only for the part that is able. This part is able to change shape to refract light. It's able. We have two types, that we have two sides, or we have three, or we have four we have the cornea, we have the aqueous humor, we have the lens, we have the vitreous humor. All this, they can refract, or they can play a role in a refracting of a human light, right? So here they want on the light. So here they want the part, we want the part that can change the shape, and then that part there, it is our lens, right? So here they said give us the letter only. If you come here and say this will be our lens, do you think like they are going to give you? No, because there is no way that they wrote lens here. If we come back to this structure here, there's no way that they wrote lens. So they only give you the letter. So they want you to come and also give that letter. You're going to say there it will be number letter F, and then number letter B there, but this provide the structural support to the eye, and then this is the part, give us the letter of the part that gives the structural support to the eye, right? So we can have the vitreous humor. Vitreous humor, you know that this is a substance like that gives the aster, right? But here in this human eye, we are going to choose number A, because this number A, this is the layer that is going to provide the structure of this human eye. For us to say the human eye is round in shape, it is because of this sclera. Hence here the answer, this is the part that provides the structural support, right, of the eye. Then here will be number A there, right? I saw someone somewhere writing hence to provide the letter only for this, provide the structural support to the human eye, and then the person write a conjunctiva, and then conjunctiva, it will be B there. And then as you can see, the B here, it's only referring to our cornea. So there is no conjunctiva here. So the person write conjunctiva. I'm not sure why they wrote it like that. But here the structure of the part that is going to provide the structural support is in our eyeball. It's in an eyeball. So that we have this ball here. It's going to be our sclera. I hope you understand that. I told you number 5, don't answer this. This one we are going to answer it today. By the end of today, you should be able to answer this question. But name, give us the name and give it, and also describe the process which involves the iris controlling the amount of light entering the eye when a person is exposed to the bright light. Here we want the bright light, we want the movement of this and this. Give us the name of this process when the eye. We talked about this and we're going to talk about this, right? So Thank you. Today we are going to talk about accommodation. You can see we also have the activity under accommodation. So our accommodation, it's up there. So what is accommodation? What is this accommodation? So allow me, guys, before we can come here, this is how you are going to answer this. This is how you are going to answer this when they say give us a brief explanation of the process that is taking place. The process that is taking place can be accommodation or can be pupillary mechanism. So they can say, maybe for an example, a human eye is responding to the ball, or the ball is being passed to someone's, or someone who, the head or the stone, it's coming to you. So give us a mechanism on how your brain is going to react and how your eyes are going to react, right? So now you choose between these two. So allow me to come this side, right, to our board. Today we'll be dealing with our board, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? So we have 3 things that our human eye did. We have 3 things that our human eyes do before we can respond physically. Before when you can push your head forward, before you can push your head forward, or before you can take something and take it towards you, or you can take something and take it away from you, so that you'll be able to see. 3 things are happening before these things happen, right? You know that when you have older people, and the older people, while they are reading their Bible or whatever, they are reading their books, because that's what they read. They read their Bible. They will have to take it back, or they have to take it further away from them, so that they will be able to read, right? And they also we have other people that when they see something, because they cannot see the further things, they have to pull it closer so that they will be able to read whatever is there, right? So today we'll learn about the mechanism, what is happening in our human eye, the mechanism that is happening inside our human eye, so that when you can be able to focus on something that is further, you can put your hand away, and then when you pull your hand closer, you are going to focus on that hand, right? So there's something that is happening. So let's talk about this. This is what is happening inside our human, or with our body, before we can come and respond physically, right? We have the first respond here, and then this first respond, we call it convergence. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but it's going to work. we are not going to be asked by this. We are only going to be asked by these two, but also this also plays an important role, right? So in our convergence, we are going to say this will be our two human eyes, and then we have something that we are bringing that hand towards ourselves, right? You have the hand farther away, and then you are bringing that hand toward yourself. What is going to happen? Your eyes are going to rotate, or they are going to move closer, right, coming inside there to focus on that one thing that is in front of you, right? So while that thing is happening, that is your first reaction, right? That's your body is reacting to whatever you are viewing before when you can remove your head, or before you can remove away from the stimuli. You know that whatever we are learning here, we are learning so that we can respond to the stimuli, right? For example, let's take for an example, the ball is coming to you. Well, that ball is coming to you. What is going to happen? Your eyes are going to now move closer, moving to the center here. Then when they move the center, they see the ball. You are using your binocular vision. You are going to measure where the ball is, right? So while that thing is happening, while you are focusing on this thing, there is also accommodation that is happening. What is accommodation, Mr. Pep? From your eyes moving inside, while your eyes are moving inside, they are going to accommodate this distance or this thing that is coming, right? Your hand is here. You started your hand with here, and then you are pulling your hand towards your two human eyes here, right? So while you are pulling your hand towards these two human eyes, your eyes are going to first do the first thing. They are going to move in close one. They are going to move towards the center, right? While they are moving towards the center, they are also accommodating. This is where we said this is an accommodation. They are also going to accommodate this movement of this part here, moving from here, coming here. So we're not being able to focus on this thing from here up until it reaches here. Your eyes, they are moving. Your eyes, they are doing something inside there. Something is happening inside your eyes, right? So we have the accommodation where we are now manipulating, or we are changing the lens, right? And we have the pupillary mechanism where now we are changing that pupil there to be small and to be big, right? So here's the thing. The first mechanism that is going to happen is our pupillary mechanism, although we are going to learn from accommodation to the pupillary mechanism, right? But let's start with pupillary mechanism this side. Here, we are saying that when we have more light, right? When we have more light, so regardless of whether you have more light or what, after this pupillary mechanism adjusting, that's where now your accommodation is also adjusting, right? We have more light. What is going to happen when you have more light? Your pupil there is going to relax. It's going to form, it's going to be narrow. It's going to be close, right? Let's go to our picture. Yes, you see this our pupil, right? When we have more light, this pupil here is going to close. That it's these things, those who have cameras and everything, they know we adjust the exposure, right? The exposure is when things are being lighter or when things are being dimmed. So for us to see where we have more light, our pupil has to decrease, right? The diameter here, this pupillary mechanism is the changing of pupil in diameter. When we have more light, our pupil has to decrease so that more light because in that situation we need less light, right? But in a darker place during the night, because we need more light now, we need more light to see things. We have another thing. Let's talk about this. I didn't talk about this. Maybe you know that for us to see something, let's say this is a something. For us to see this, right, we have to have a natural light. Let's say this one, it's your whatever, it's your book, it's your pen, it's your whatever, tata, whatever that is in front of you, right? You are seeing this thing right now. For you to see this thing, the light has to come and hit that thing. After hitting that thing, it has to be reflected, and now that light has to come to your eye. Right, so whatever you are seeing at this moment is because the light is hitting that thing, and why that light is hitting that thing is reflecting the light, and that light is reflected to your eyes. It enters to your eyes. We learn about this, that if this thing is upside down like this, when it enters your eyes, it's going to be upside down like this, right? This thing is going to be upside down up until it reach our yellow spot there, and then this yellow spot, the cones and the receptor, they're going to be excited and produce impulses, and this impulse is going to be sent to the cerebrum, and inside the cerebrum we are now going to see that we are looking at the lollipop stumble standing right like this, right? So you learn this. So this light here is deflecting, or this light here is reflected to your eyes. So when you need more light, when this light is passing here, when we have more light coming in, right? Maybe something, maybe the light is out when you go outside during the day, the light is more there. So when the light is more, our iris here, this iris here, they will come and close that pupil so that less light will pass in, right? So that less light, it just we are just dimming the light that is coming in our pupil, right? You'll agree with me. And then during the night, when we don't have more light coming in, we will need this pupil to increase, right? The pupil is increasing and the pupil is decreasing. The pupil is increasing and the pupil is decreasing, right? That is what is happening when you go to a dim, or when you switch off your light. Because now we have less light, we need more light to come in, our pupil is going to increase, right? When we are now outside, because now we have more light and we need to reduce the light that is coming in, our pupil is going to decrease, right? While this is happening, something is happening with our lens here in our accommodation. You learn that our lens there, it is like this. It is held by our suspensory ligament, right? And then this suspensory ligament, they are held by a suspensory ciliary body and the ciliary muscles, right? So with our accommodation here, when something is passing, we are still here, right? Something is coming in, whatever, then the condition will be determined here, whether you are in a dark place or whether you are in a light place. But when you are in a lighter place, your pupil is going to be small. When you are in a dark place, your pupil is going to increase, right? So while that pupil is increasing, something is happening here with your lens. Your lens here, when something it is closer, your lens here has to be big. I want you to imagine it like this before you can go to your textbook and how we'll explain this. Your lens there, they have to be big. When something is far like here. When something is far, this lens here, it has to be flat like this, right? It has to be narrow because now we are pulling it this side, right? So I'm also going to explain that. So when I take it like this, when something is near our lens, we want to see our lens becoming big, right? We want to see our lens now opening or becoming more convex, right? This will be like this, and that will be another part, this will be another part, right? This will be back part, this will be our front part. So when something is in front here, when something is moving in front of you, we want to see this increasing. We want to see this lens of us keep becoming bigger, right? While it's becoming bigger, it is bending more light. More light is being bent, focusing it to our yellow spot, right? When we are moving this thing away, we want to see this light, this length of ours becoming narrower. When we say, or becoming flat, right? So this will be like same part like this will be our front part, and this will be our back part. So we want to see this length here becoming stretched, right? So that our light can now be transferred, they will be bend less, right? That's what they say. Our light here is going to be bent less. Here is going to be bent more, right? So we also talked about these lengths here. They are attached to something called the ciliary muscles. The suspensory ligament, right? This suspensory ligament, they are attached to our ciliary body there. So the motion or the changing of these lengths of ours, this length of ours is not changing beyond. It's just elasticity. That length of ours, it can be stretched or it can stretch. If we are stretching it like a balloon, right? It's like a balloon. You hold a balloon this side, you hold balloon this side, you can stretch it. You see that it is becoming more inside and more inside. And then when you let it go, it's going to become more roundish, right? So this is what is happening. So the process that is bringing this change are these suspensory ligament and this ciliary body here. So what is happening? Let me explain this in a further explanation manner so that you'll understand. I don't want you to cram this. I want you to understand this, right? We'll have our ciliary body. I'll draw two structures, right? We'll have our ciliary muscles like this, and then our ciliary body like this, continuing its way, right? And we also, this one here, we are going to say our ciliary muscles, they are relaxed. These our ciliary muscles, right? Ciliary muscles, right? We are going to say these ciliary muscles of ours, they are relaxed, and then when they contract, they are going to make something like this. They are going to come back, right? I told you that we are going to learn about the name contract and constrict, right? The contraction, it's coming back, it's when something is squishing back, right? It's when something is shrinking or something is narrowing in this contest of ours. So when we are saying that our muscles are contracting, it means that they are coming back here, and when they are coming back here, they are going to form that circle back there, and then this ciliary body of ours is going now to be like this, continuing there to be our choroid, right? Coming back here and being our iris there. right? It's going to be like this. So here's the thing, right? Also there being iris like this, right? So here's the thing. When it's like this, when they relax like this, when they relax, they will stretch, and then this one is going to be flat. When they relax like this, they are going to pull those ciliary muscles tighten, right? So this one, they are going to be tight, right? They say they become taut, something like this, right? So here our length, go with me here, our length there is going to be narrower, because it's going to be pushed in this side. Our balloon there is going to be pushed this side, it's going to be pulled this side and pulled this side. Also, this is what is going to be happening at our another side. So these things like this, let's talk like this, let's do like this. These things like this is our length, right? This is our length, and then this our ciliary muscles, right? Controlling our ciliary body, right? So when they stretch, or when they relax, right? This one, they are relaxed. When they relax like this, you can see when they relax, they are going to flatten up our ciliary body. When our ciliary body is flattened up, it's going to pull this ciliary, it's going to pull this our suspensory ligament and forcing our, what we call our length there to be tightened up, right? Different when they are contracting. When they are contracting, we said when they are contracting, it means that they were like this, but now they are coming back. They are going to form like this, and then they are pulling our what we call our ciliary body back there. You can see that our ciliary body back is being pulled down, and then when it's being pulled down, it's going to loosen up those ciliary bodies, those suspensory ligaments. Sorry to mix this. This ciliary ligament, they are going to be loosen up. Also, what is happening with our bottom part? Our bottom part is going to be stretched like this, and then we say that those one, they are contracted. This one, they are contracted. Why am I emphasizing this? Because when we go our textbook, let's go to our textbook and see. When we go to our textbook, yes, our textbook, right? Accommodation. This one, it's a near vision. This one, it's a distance vision. We said in a distance vision, we want our lengths here to be narrower, right? Our lengths become less convex. So it become less convex, right? It become flatter. It become flatter like this. While it become flatter, it is becoming less convex. And then this side, we want our lengths to be big, right? While it's become big, it's becoming more convex. We said more convex, it's something like this, because this length side, it is convex. So it's made out of two balls. If you can go and take a balloon, cut it inside, you're going to have something like that, right? Something like that. But this one, it's transparent, right? So you'll go and see whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right? So this one, these are the lengths, they are becoming more convex, right? So we want this to happen when something is moving near to you. When something is moving near to you, these things, it has to happen. We have to see our lengths becoming more convex or more bigger. When it's moving away, we want to see our lengths here becoming narrower, right? Or flatter. They can use the word flatter or less convex, right? So there is this movement here, it is controlled by our suspensory ligament. As you can see here, for this to become big, our suspensory ligament there, they have to be slackened or they have to be loosened, right? They have to be loosened. They don't have to be tight like this. Here they said from the word tight, right? Here they become tight. And then here, the reason why they become tight is because the ciliary muscles, they relaxed. Right? The ciliary muscles there, they relaxed. When these ciliary muscles, as you can see here, the ciliary muscles, they contract. And then here's the thing. We said when something is contracting, it's becoming less. But as you can see in this picture, this and this here is less and here it's big, right? So you can understand that this one here, it's what I was drawing this side. When this become big, it's becoming bigger like this because the muscles there is pulled back, right? And then when it's becoming flatter like this or a small circle like this, is because those muscles there, they are becoming flattened, right? So you understand this. And then while this is happening, because this part now, our ciliary body is going to be like this, because our ciliary body now is becoming big, our ciliary body is going to loosen up those suspensory ligament. And while those suspensory ligament are loosened up, our length is going to be more convex. We want to see this when we are moving our object in, right? When we are moving it away, we want to see our length becoming flatter or becoming less convex, right? So let's go up and see how they explain this, right? After explanation, Barry. And accommodation is the ability of the eye. This is the ability of the eye to alter or to change change the shape of the lens to ensure that a clear image always falls on the retina, whether the object is near or far, right? So this is what is happening. The accommodation is happening. Something is coming to you. The accommodation has to kick place, so that thing, when it's moving towards to you, you know that when it's moving to you, your lens has to begin up, right? So that image that can fall to our yellow spot there, so that you'll have the clear vision of whatever it's moving from wherever it's moving up until it come and hit you, right? But the process is explained in table 4 below, and illustration figure 11 for the near vision and distance vision. We know that what is happening with our illustration, so now come back and explain this, right? But in a near vision and a distance vision, they'll give you two, and then the near vision, it's less than 6 meters from the object, and then the distance vision, it's when you are more than 6 meters from the object. So the object will be here and this will be you. If the space here is less than 6 meters, the object will regard it as a near object. But if it's more than 6 meters, we are going to regard that object as a distant object or a far away object, right? So what is going to happen to your pupillary making, to your what we call, to your lens and your suspensory ligament, right? You know this process is controlled by 3 muscles, or by 3.1, it's your lens, and then number 2, it's your suspensory ligament, and then number 3, it's your ciliary body or ciliary muscles. Understand the two, right? So here we said in a near distance, something is near now. Here, right, when we want something that is near, we are going to go to our lens, go and find the lens here. We want to find, this is the first thing, we want to find, or we want our lens to become more convex, right? This is what they are saying, or to become more bulgy. When something is near, I want you to start here. When something is coming near, I want to see my lens becoming more convex, or I want to see my lens becoming big. Right, from there, now go back and explain. Now from here, go and explain what is it that is going to bring about this lens to be big, or to be more convex, or to be bulgy, right? More convex, going like this side is going to be more convex, and this side is going to be more convex. So what are those process, or those things that have to happen, so that my lens here has to become big, right? So this is what this is how we explain this near vision. In the near vision, I will want my lens to become more convex, and then for this to happen, I will need my suspensory ligaments to loosen. Right, in a near vision, I will need my suspensory ligaments to be loosened, and the suspensory ligament loosen or slacken, any word that you want to use. And then from there, I will want from this to happen. So for these ciliary muscles to be weakened, I want my ciliary body to contract, so that it will bring down my my ciliary body, right? This one are the ciliary muscles inside our ciliary body. So I will want to see my ciliary body coming down, right? So that this suspensory ligament, they will be loosened. And this process of coming down of a ciliary body, it is brought upon these ciliary muscles when they contract, when they are coming down here to this position. Like you have a human eye, and the human eye, it's a circle like this, right? So this will be our suspensory ligament, and this one here will be our ciliary body, and then this one ciliary body, they will be coming down here. So while they are becoming down here, they are becoming closer to the lens, the ciliary muscles has to contract. There's some confusion here on some learners, so I want you to not confuse these two, right? The ciliary muscle has to contract. On a distance side here, the ciliary muscles has to relax. Why are they releasing? So that we are coming back here, Why are they releasing? So that ciliary body that was like this, now that ciliary body has to be straight like that. And then why this is happening is because our muscles there, they have relaxed. Right, when they contract, they are bringing back, and they are increasing this thing here. When they relax, now that our lens, our ciliary body is going to go back. So this side here, our ciliary muscles, they will have to relax. While they are relaxing, yes, I want to see my lens becoming less convex, or they becoming flatter, right? I want to see when something is distant, I want to end up with my lens becoming like this, right? So when my lens becoming like this, it has to be stretched by this suspensory ligament, right? So the suspensory ligament, they have to become tightened, or they have to become taut. This is the word that they use from the word tight, right? They have to become tight. While they are for them to become tight, I want my ciliary muscles to relax, so that my ciliary body will flatten. I hope you understand this, right? And then from there, the tension of the lens is going to increase. This tension here is going to increase. Here, the tension of the lens is going to decrease. The tension is the pulling of the lens, right? Here on a distance level, we are pulling the balloon. On a near level, we are letting go of the balloon to come back, right? So, and then they said this causes the light rays to bend less. Here, our light are going to bend less, and then here in this part here, our light is going to be bent more, right? Here the thing, our light rays are going to be bent more. We are going to have more of the bending of the light, right? And then from there, while this is happening so that the clear image is focused on the retina. And then also this side, this is happening so that the clear image is focused on the retina. So when they give you they ask you the question so that you'll be able to, when they ask you to give a process that is happening from a near vision, we'll do this tomorrow, right? Or when they give you an explanation for what is happening in a distant vision, you have to end up by saying all this is happening so that the clear image is focused on the retina. So I hope you understand this process accommodation, right? So with accommodation, this is what is happening with accommodation. These are the illustration. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand what is happening in this illustration. The distance, I want to see my flattened. The near, I want to see it big. When it's big, my suspensor there, they have to be loosened up. That loosen up is bringing about our suspensor body relaxing, or our suspensor body coming down. This brought upon by our suspensory muscles contracting. They're contracting, they are becoming down, right? So we have the contracting and constricting. Where do we get the word constricting? Contracting, we are becoming short, right? We are shrinking, right? It was big and it's becoming small. Whatever is big is becoming small, we say it is contracting. And then constricting, when it is big and when it is narrow, something like this. So this one will use more on something that, right? We are going to use this when we do a pupillary mechanism. A pupillary mechanism, our pupillary become constricted. So let's go and do this while we understand that one, right? So they say the pupillary mechanism, pupillary mechanism refer to the process by which the diameter of the pupil is altered or is changed to control the amount of light entering the human eye. We can have the small so that we have small light, or the few light entering the human eye, or it can be big to allow more light to enter a human eye, right? But the intensity of the light is the stimulus that changes the size of the pupil. So when the light is coming in, this is also going to make, or is also going to stimulate our pupil to shut down or to open. What is it that is causing this pupil to shut down or to open? It is the intensity of light. When more light is coming in, it's going to force our pupil to shut down, right? Then when less light is passing in, is going to cause our pupil to increase. And then here we also learn that the iris controls the amount of light entering the pupil, right? Our iris are controlling the light that is entering the pupil. Our iris are the one that controls the increase of our pupil and the decrease of our pupil, right? We use those irises, right? Our pupil can increase, our pupil can decrease, but we are using those irises. But it has circular and radial muscles. This I told about this iris of ours. It has the circular muscles. These are the muscles that are rounding like this, and it has the radial muscles. These muscles, they are the one that are joining the inner circle with the outer circle, which act antagonistically. You'll learn about this. We're going to talk about this antagonistically. When this one contracts, this one relaxes, right? We learn about contracting if it's a radial like this. When we say the radial is contracting, it's coming back, right? And then when it's circular like this, when we say the circular is contracting, it means that it's becoming small, right? It is coming, this part is going back and this part is going back while we are having our small, right? When we say this one, it's relaxed. When we relax our circular, when we relax this, our circular is going to be big. When we relax this, now the diameter there is going to be big. You are going to learn about this, right? They worked antagonistically. When this one is pulling back, this one is relaxing. So you'll understand that if I have something like this, and then, so, okay, let's do this. If I have something like this, a circle, and I'm pulling, we are pulling this circle here, right? So for this circle here to increase, we'll have to pull here, right? We'll have to pull this side. So we are pulling the circle there, it is increasing. And then when we are pulling, when these muscles are pulling, we say these muscles are contracting. Right? Same thing there, up there. They are contracting. And then when we want this circle there to come, this, let's say this is an elastic, or it's a, right, we do this circle with an elastic band inside there. We have different wires going a different direction, right? We have someone hold here, na lady, mang, and then we say pull. When we are pulling here, right, when we are pulling here, we say these muscles are contracting, and we are pulling the radial muscles, the muscles from the center to the circumference, right? So when we want this circle here to come back and become small, what are we going to do? We are going to let go of the pushing. So the pushing is going to relax, while the pushing there, while the pulling there is going to relax. Now the elastic there is going to contract. Now that thing is going to come back. Our circular muscles, they are going to come back and becoming small, right? Like an elastic band. These are like elastic band. When you pull another side, the other side has to relax. Because if this one they are pulling aside, they are becoming small, and then when you are pulling aside, what is going to happen? This small thing is going to tire, right? Your eye, what we call your pupil there, is going to separate into two, or it's going to have a crack. Right? So they work antagonistically. One, the other one is contracting, the other one it is relaxing to change the size of the pupil, right? Then the table number 5. Table number 5, figure 12.1 and 12.3 below show the pupillary mechanism as it occurs in a bright light and in a dim light. So here we are decreasing our pupil light because we are at the bright light. We want our pupil to be small because more light is passing in, right? But in a dim light, we are going to want our pupil there to be increasing because we have a shortage of the light that is coming in to the eye. Wrote explaining this here, you will be able to explain, to be understand what is happening here, right? So let's come here. Let's first here you can see this is your human eye, and then this is your iris, right? This let's come here. This is your eyes, and then our pupil, our brown thing there, that will be your iris, right? So it's something drawn like this. So this one, it's your iris. All of this is your iris, right? Iris, right? And then we have the sclera there, right? So in this iris, I told you that we have the circular muscles. These are the circular muscles, the muscles that are going in a circle, right? Here they say there were circular muscles. These are the muscles that are going in a circle like this. These are our circular muscles. So this one will be our or this will be our elastic here. And then also there at the center, we are going to have our elastic like that, a rubber band, right? So this one are our circular muscles. And the one that are going that side from the circle to the circumference, we say these are the radial muscles, right? And then the center there, this one will be our pupil. So what is happening? We are in a condition. This is the condition. We have the two conditions here, right? We have the condition where the light is brighter. We have more light. So when we have more light, what do we want to see? We want to see our pupil becoming small. When we have the dim light, what do we want to see? We want to see our pupil becoming big, right? So here is the explanation of what is happening, or what are these muscles working antagonistically or working together to shut down our pupil or to increase our pupil, right? As you can see, this one is the example of a bright light. Where do we want to see our first change? It is our pupil constricting. We want to see the change here. In our bright light, we want to see our pupil constricting, right? That is what is happening. We have more light, we want to see this. And then now we can come and play with this now. If our pupil is constricted, you can see the word constrict here, right? Constricting means narrower. And then if it's not constricted, it's going to be dilated, right? We have the dilated or undilated. When it is constrict, it is undilated. And then when it is not constricted, it is dilated. It will be like this, right? So you will see, or we can say it relax, right? This side is going to be relaxed in a dim light, and then in a brighter light is going to constrict, coming together or narrowing. Here we did this during a vasodilation. You are going to do this during you did this in grade 11, right? The vessels in our body, you know that they change shape. They become narrower or they become dilated. We said they are vasodilation, it's when they are becoming big, and vasoconstriction, it's when they are becoming small. Hence here, other books, they will say this one is a pupillary constriction. right, or pupillary reflex, right? So this is what is happening. So in a bright light, you will want to see your pupil constricting. You will want to see your pupil decreasing in diameter. You can write that pupil decrease in diameter, or you can write pupil constrict. Whatever way you want to take it, it will be fine with the marker. You know what you are talking about. The diameter of pupil is decreasing, right? So they will trick you in this question, you'll see. And then here you will say in a bright light, maybe they will say someone is inside the house, and the inside the house is dark, and the person moves outside the house, and then when he moves outside the house, he see that something is moving, or the image that he's seeing is blurred, or what. Tell us the mechanism that is happening, so that person will be focused on the situation that is happening outside. The mechanism will be the pupillary mechanism, because the person who was at the dark place now is moving to the lighter place. We want to move the pupil inside. We want to decrease that pupil, right? For us to decrease that pupil, we need our circular muscles to contract. Those circular muscles, these circular muscles that are here, they have to contract, like they have to come together so that they be small, right? While this is happening, because it happened antagonistically, because they are contracting, or they are becoming smaller and smaller, they are doing like this, they are contracting like this, our radial muscles has to relax, so that they will stretch from this point here up until this point here. They are stretching, right? For them to stretch, they need to be relaxed. And then while these are relaxing, this one now has to pull in. It's like an elastic band. Now the elastic band has to pull in. Do you understand? Now the elastic band have the chance, or have the ability now to come back together. And then while that is happening, we say that that thing is contracting. It is moving inside, right? The difference between contracting and constricting: constricting is becoming narrower, contracting, it is shrinking. We talked about this when we did our parasympathetic and sympathetic level, right? When we are saying that our rectum is going to contract, our bladder is going to contract, our what is going to contract, do you understand? When we say contracting, it's reducing in shape, right? It is coming together. And then when we say constrict, it also means it is also it is becoming smaller, it is becoming narrower, right? Hence we use constriction, hence we use the word constriction on our human vein. Our human veins, we have the brain in, you know that in our human veins we also have the circular muscles like this that are forming these veins here. So these circular muscles, they will have to contract, so that vein there, it's going to constrict. I'm going to learn this further, but here's the difference between the two, right? So the radial muscles has to relax. So here's what they want you to write, or this is what they want you to summarize this. They will give you an option, and then the answer that you have to give is for you to say the bright light condition. In a bright light condition, what is going to happen? Our radial, you first go to the pupil, right? We want to see our pupil constricting, or we want to see our pupil getting smaller, right? Where now you know now. So now I want to see my pupil getting smaller, and for these pupil to get smaller, I know that our ciliary, or our circular muscles, has to contract there. Then circular muscles of the iris contract, right? We are talking about the circular muscles of an iris, right? So that our pupil there can get smaller. These circular muscles, they have to contract, and then the radial muscles of iris, they are going to relax, right? Or the parasympathetic, or the motor neuron, they are going to send the message, or they are going to send the impulse, that this impulse is going to force our radial muscles of iris to relax, and it's also going to force our circular muscles to contract, this bringing down our diameter, or our opening of our pupil. So all this, the amount of light entering the light, it is reduced. This is happening so that our light entering there, it is reduced. Same as in our dim light. In our dim light, we are doing all this so that our light that is entering our eye has to be increased, right? And then how do we do this? We have to increase our pupil there. Our pupil has to widen, or our pupil has to become bigger. And for this pupil to become bigger, we understand that our circular muscles are now opening. These circular muscles, they have to relax. The circular muscles of iris, they have to relax. And then while we know that while these are relaxing, for us to pull, we understand now we are pulling these circular muscles backwards, and we are using the radial muscles to contract. When these muscles are contracting, they are pulling back these circular muscles of ours. So that is what is happening, guys, with pupillary mechanism and accommodation. I hope that you understand this, right? You understand this, I understand, and I believe you guys, so you understand this. So you can see here, they give us our notice there, but note the radial muscles and the circular muscles of the iris work antagonistically. I talked about this. When the one increasing, the one is decreasing. Antagonistically, the one is going another direction, to understand. But this means when one is contracted, the one has to relax, right? When the moment you say what word is going to contract, the other one you are going to say it is relaxed. So it will be useful for you to trick your brain, or to trick you on how to use this trick to explain this. They say now in a dim light, right? In a dim light, you understand, in a dim light I need to open my eye. That's what you're going to do. If they say explain this, in a dim light I have to open my eye. When I open my eye, how am I opening my eye? I am increasing the pupil here, but the pupil widen, or the pupil become bigger, right? Or the diameter increase. In a dim light, I want the light to pass in, I want more light to pass in, so I'm going to open more of my eyes. While this is happening, because this is circular muscles, and these circular muscles, they are relaxing, they are stretching, so it means that they are relaxing, because if they are contracting, they are going to cause they are going to cause the strain, right? You have the eye ache. Here we talk about the headache, and we also have the eye ache. It's when these two, they are now working same thing. When this one is contracting and this one is contracting, they are going to force the pulling and the pulling, right? So this one has to relax so that it will open, so that it will be pulled by our radial muscles there. And then how do we say our radial muscles are pulling? We say they are contracting, they are becoming shorter, they are becoming shorter, they are contracting, while our circular muscles there, they are relaxing. So they work antagonistically. The moment you say you are in a dim light, your eyes has to open up, and then when your eyes is open up, then where is this happening? This is happening in an iris, right? Don't forget, guys, to also say this is happening in an iris. The pupil is not the iris, but the muscles that are controlling the opening and closing of this pupil, it is the iris. So you also have to talk about the iris, right? So that is from Mr. People. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being. Let's go. I also see another question there. We can do that question today if you have time, right? If you have time, let's do, because tomorrow we'll be dealing with question papers that are coming with this. But the diagram shows the human eyes. We have the X and Y focused on an object represented by arrows. These are the object, and then at a different distance, right, of the eye. But the object A, as you can see, and the object C, the object A and the object C, they are 3 meters away from the object. It means that now the object is near. We want to see the accommodation, right? Accommodation. When something is near, we want to see our iris becoming big, right? This is the small diagram that you can draw aside. Accommodation, when something is near, I want to see my thing becoming big, and then after that I can explain it however I want to explain it. When it is far, it's like this, 3 meters away, and object B and object D were 8 meters away from the human eye. They are more than 6 meters. It means that they are away, and then accommodation, I have to see my narrowing what, right? So, but the diagram below are not drawn to scale, right? They are not drawn to scale. It means that you can see that the distance from point A and point B, it's not 5 meters, right? They're just drawing it for you to understand, right? They are not drawn to scale. This is what they are meaning. Uri, we are just drawing it for explain for understanding manner. It's not like the object. If you can measure the distance here, you can see that this is 5 meters, and if you can measure distance here, you can see this is 3 meters, right? So okay, but as you can see from our human eye, if you can decode this, how do you decode this, Mr. Pape? We decode this. We want the clues, right? They are talking about the accommodation. The accommodation is to do with our human lens there. So we can see that in this eye of ours, our lens there is stretched, right? Our lens there is stretched. It means that the object that we are seeing here, it is far object. Accommodation. Remember, when we are focusing on a far object, we have to increase our lens. When we and then when we come here, we can see that our lens here, it is big. It means that we are focusing on a closer object, right? We also have another clue. As you can see here, this is an image before it can be interpreted to our brain, right? Because before this brain can see that we are looking at this arrow. And I told you that when this arrow comes here inside here, it also have to be inverted and become upside down. this arrow here. It has to come upside down. So this is another clue that this arrow here is this arrow, because that won't be this arrow here, because it's straight is straight. Same as here, you can see that the arrow is down, the arrow is down, the arrow is down here. These two here, it means that it confirmed that our object B is this one, since the arrow there changed its direction, right? It can be A, but what is it that is it cancelling this A? It is this information here. This information here, it cancels that. It cannot be A, where else can be A if we are just going to look at the arrows. Can be A, but it's not going to be A because our length here is focusing on this part here. And then here we have the bigger lengths. Bigger lengths, we are focusing on the same, and then the arrows confirm it. Yes, our arrows is upside down, and then here this side is upside right. So this one can be like this, right? We are confirm this. And then by number A, write down the letter of the object that letter Y is focused on. They only want the letter, right, of what IY is focusing on. Where's this letter I1? I1 is focusing on number C, and then number X there, Barry. Give the letter of the object that the letter X is focused on. Letter X, this IX there is focusing. We said it's focusing on number B. So this is what is going to happen, right? So this is how we are going to decode this accommodation lesson or accommodation questions. When we have accommodation lessons, we are going to talk about them tomorrow. I'm going to find question papers that are dealing with this question. We have to first check our length there. If our length is becoming, or if we are dealing with pupillary mechanism, we are going to check our pupil there. If we see that the pupil is light and the pupil like this, and then maybe they can ask you between the IA and the IB, which one is at the dim light? So we want to say it's number A, because in the dim light we want to see our pupil becoming big. And they say which eye is showing the results of a person being in a lighter room. We can say this will be number B. I hope you understand that, right? And then the rest of the question, this one, they are including the defect of eyes. We are going to do this Thursday and Friday. The name of the defect of eye, you can see they identify, they describe the process. Okay, so let's go to our question, right? I told you, or I promise you, that at the end of today's lesson, you should be able to come and answer this question here, but 5 marks, right? You should be able to come and answer this question here, right? And then by number 5, but name, right? They want us to give a name and describe the process. This is the process. What is the process? This is the process which involves the iris controlling the amount of light entering the eye when a person is exposed to a bright light. So we know that here we want the process that is we have two processes. We have accommodation and pupillary mechanism. Then the one that we want, with the first one, the name here, we have to come and give them the name. The name will be pupillary mechanism, or pupillary reflex, or also pupillary constriction, right? Right? The moving in and out of our pupillary, but the word that they are using in our textbook is pupillary mechanism, right? They also say describe, 5 marks, so they want you maybe to describe this in a 4 or 5, right? So describe this process. What is happening here? We are in a bright light. When you'll come here and say bright light condition, right? Bright light condition. You now give them that you understand what you are talking about. I'm going to talk about when we are in a bright light condition. In a bright light condition, our pupil will increase, right? You'll say the pupil, our pupil here is going to constrict. Constrict means that it's going to become a narrower, right? Or it becomes smaller. Whatever word that you want to talk about here, the pupil is going to become smaller, or the pupil is going to decrease in the diameter, right? From telling us that the pupil is going to decrease in diameter, now tell us what is happening in an iris that is bringing, or that is causing this pupil of yours that you are talking about to be smaller. Then you come and give another point there. Then you say the radial and the circular muscles and the radial muscle. So you want to explain these two, right? You're going to the circular, because now the pupil is becoming smaller. The circular muscles, they have to relax. When it becomes more, No, it's becoming smaller. Sorry, it's becoming smaller. So when it becomes smaller like this, you know that our something that it has to relax. It's our radial muscles like that, right? These muscles has had to relax so that it will stretch back to this small. So our radial muscles, we are going to say this one, they are going to relax. While we are done with relax, they work antagonistically. It means that our circular muscles, they have to contract, right? They have to come together. You can say our circular muscles, they have to come together, and then our radial muscles, they have to relax. Now you have given how many? 1, 2, 3. Then the last one, what is this? And then you'll say the light passing the pupil, the light passing the pupil will be reduced. The light passing the pupil will be reduced, right? So you are done. You have explained what is happening here in number 5, right? They say name and describe the process. They want the name of process when I give them the process, or this is the process, right? And then after that, giving them the process, now they want you to describe the process which involves these irises controlling the amount of light entering the eye when the person is exposed to the bright light. You say the pupillary mechanism during a bright light condition. During a bright light condition, I want to see my pupil constricting, right? Or you can start by saying the radial muscles anyway, right? Radial muscles, they are going to relax. The circular muscles, they are going to contract. This bringing about the pupil to decrease in size, right? And then while the pupil is decreasing in size, then after that, our light is going to be reduced. So I hope you understand this. I hope you are together, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. You could be doing something else, but you chose to come here and learn life science with Mr. Pape. That's it from me, guys. Thank you. I believe and I hope that you understand what is happening with our accommodation and our pupillary mechanism, right? We have our accommodation. You can also go to your study guide. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with question papers, right? Accommodation, you can see with accommodation, you have to come here and say we are having the distance letter, and then we have the near vision. In the near vision, I want to see my lengths becoming big. In a distance vision, I want to see my lengths becoming narrow, and then you explain it from there. You can see the diagram here, same as what we have on our textbook. Same explanation, right? The tension here will decrease, and then the tension here will increase. The lengths will become less, and then here the lengths will become more, and then the suspensory ligament here, they're going to be slackened or they're going to be loosened, right? And then the ciliary muscles here, they have to contract, right? They have to come back so that they will budge this ciliary body here, right? So here they will have to relax so that that ciliary body will be like that, right? The ciliary muscles here, they will have to relax, something like this, right? So you know, you start here, and then you want to see our ligaments there becoming slackened or becoming loosened, and then they are loosened because our ciliary body dropped, right? You can just use the another name, it's dropped, right? So that is it from me. And then the light rays, then you don't forget to end up by saying the light rays will be reflected more or will be bent more, this focusing our light onto the retina. So while we are doing this, we are doing it so that our light can be focused on our retina, and we are also doing this so that our light can also focus to our retina. So Friday and Saturday, we are going to learn what happen if this focus here, it is somewhere here, and then what will happen if this focus here, it is back there. So we are going to use the length, or we are going to use a specified those who are using the specs, those who are using the lenses to correct this here. So it means that we are going to use a correct length to bring back this light here, or if it's here, we are going to use the correct length to push away this image here, right? You know, this is an image. This image here enters. When it enters, it's going to change, and then it's going to be stayed there. So we want that image to be forming at our focal point or at our yellow spot, right? So tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, we'll be talking about this. And then thank you for tuning in. And then we did pupillary mechanism. We have the light is dim, and then we have the light is bright. When we know the light is bright here, we want to decrease that pupil. And then when light is dim here, when we have less light, we want to increase that pupil. Then from there, you can now come up with what is happening for us to bring about those changes. With that being said, guys, see you tomorrow. My name is Mpepu. Today 12:38. We are done. We were fast today, so you will get this video earlier Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for choosing Mr. Mpepu. So Kalishiya guys, Kalishiya Silo. Just go back, and today we won't have a homework. Just go and look to those question papers. Tomorrow we'll be visiting our beloved basic education website, right? So seeing those question papers, the previous question paper 2023, 2022, 2021, all those question papers. Now, bo Angie Mutleha, are the Minister of Basic Education and the Vice Minister there. Do you know about them? That one, she's the Vice Minister, and that one, she's the Minister of Basic Education, right? We have the basic education, we also have the higher education, right? And you know those university, what. Basic education from grade 12 going down. That is the basic education. This, hope you understand that, right? Thank you. 1 hour 30 minutes again today. Thank you for being here, guys. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with question papers, paper 1, specifically dealing with these human eye questions, right? So thank you for being here. As another thing that we can talk about there, you can say I don't want to leave you, but those who have been subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Let's ask them, what is it that you are waiting for? By the time you come here and try to pick up with us, we'll be far. I also promise you that by the time when we are dealing with revision, we'll be doing our videos at 20 minutes, 10 minutes, right? So for now, just hang with us up until the 1 hour. After 1 hour, close your book, go and do something else. As I want to talk something here, you can see this place here. They said this is a fovea centralis, right? The fovea central, this is a place where we have more cones, right? Or they said and macula lutea. So this will be like a part there, then this will be our macula lutea, and then this place here will be our fovea. And then all in all, this place here, it is called a yellow spot. So in our book, we are using yellow spot. In our textbook, we are using yellow spot. So if when you give us the picture or the image has to be sent to our yellow spot, you are right. Right? You are right. So this is what is happening, right? Or this is you know that this is what is happening, man. Know this when I know this. The rest here is upside down. What? It's not necessary. The image has to come in form here. I was thinking of something like if maybe we are going to say this is how. Yeah, it's not it. This is it. This is the picture. And then this light here is going to pass here. You know this, right? Controlled by our iris. So the light, when it passes here, we are going to direct it like that. And then this part here, it's going to be directed by our cornea there. Our cornea, that our light is going to be passing like this. Our light is going to be entering like this. And this cornea here is going to refract that light to our iris there. Right? And then that iris, they are going to have a pupil. And then that pupil there, that will be the opening, allowing the light to pass in. Right? And then we have the anterior chamber, the front chamber. Anterior just means the front chamber, and posterior the back chamber. Right? The back chamber, vitreous humor, and the front chamber, aqueous humor. We have two chambers. They can say the frontal chamber, that consists of a watery substance, aqueous humor, the one that contains the vitreous jelly-like substance, right? Then there's suspensory ligament. These are the ligaments here. And then we have our ciliary body with ciliary muscles. As you can see here, this one contracted, it is here. So when it relaxes, it's going to come back here. This one is going to be like this, right? Pulling back this, and then you can see our length there is big. So this length is going to be small. And then we talked about the cornea, we talked about the iris, we talked about the lens there. Then we are done, guys. You'll agree with me, right? So thank you. See you tomorrow. Bring your friends to bring your friends to bring your friends. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with the questions and the activities, right, of these questions, doing past examination paper. With that being said, Mr. Mpepu, sharp. Amalanga awafani. Zizojinka lezinto. Sharp, guys. Thank you. Peace.